It is 8 p.m. and here are our top stories in 90 seconds. A suspected drunk driver crashes into headstones at Fort Logan as people honor their loved ones for Memorial Day. Tonight, what police are saying about the damage.
Freeze it! Or!
Across our nation, ceremonies honor the men and women in uniform who paid the ultimate sacrifice.
We're gathered at this sacred place in this solemn hour to engage in the most fundamental of undertakings, the rite of remembrance.
An amateur competitive eater says she was kicked out and refused service at an Aurora pizza shop.
He told me to get out. This place doesn't welcome you, and I'm going to call the police. You know, get out immediately. And I was just shocked.
Now the owner's daughter says they're getting bombarded with calls making claims that are untrue.
Constant phone calls of people calling us racist, even though there was no racist things mentioned ever.
The state's mask mandate officially comes to an end tonight, but there are still requirements for people not vaccinated. We look into the rules.
All our public lands in Colorado have seen huge increases in visitation.
Colorado Parks and Wildlife is having a hard time keeping up with the increase in visits to our state's parks. Now state lawmakers have a plan to get more money funneled into our outdoor spaces.
It makes it easier to get your Colorado Parks Pass, and it makes it much, much cheaper.
And good Monday evening to you, and thank you for watching Denver7 News on Local 3. I'm Ann Trujillo. People who are honoring their loved ones at Fort Logan National Cemetery for Memorial Day say they were almost run over by a suspected drunk driver. You can see that driver eventually crashed into some headstones. The woman is being held on suspicion of DUI. And Denver police say several cars were sideswiped before that driver crashed into the headstones. At this hour, police are not sure how many headstones were damaged. Thankfully, no one was injured. Several Memorial Day events took place across the Front Range today to honor the men and women who have died fighting for our country. In Parker, Ponderosa Valley Funeral Services and J.S. Parker Cemetery held their 12th annual Memorial Day Veterans Service of Remembrance. And the rain couldn't stop this flyover in Pueblo today. This video is courtesy of the Pueblo Fire Department. And you can share your Memorial Day photos with us by joining the Discover Colorado 3-Year Photos group on Facebook. In our nation's capital, President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris spent the day at Arlington National Cemetery to lay a wreath at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier.
We're gathered at this sacred place in this solemn hour to engage in the most fundamental of undertakings, the rite of remembrance. We must honor their sacrifice by sustaining the best of America, while honestly confronting all that we must do to make our nation fuller, freer, and more just.
The president also remembered his son, Bo, who was an Iraq war veteran. Sunday marked 6 years since his passing. And as of this weekend, more than 3 million Coloradans have received at least one dose of the COVID vaccine. That is almost 54% of our state's population. Now, Colorado's mask mandate will officially expire tonight. The state released a new public health order this afternoon, which requires non-vaccinated people to wear masks in certain situations like schools and camps and the DMV. The rules could change if hospitals fill up. And this Friday, somebody in Colorado will be $1 million richer just for being vaccinated. Of course, not everyone who got the vaccine can find themselves in the state vaccine database. The Contact Denver7 inbox is full of people saying they are being left out. So listen, if you're confused, I guarantee you are not alone. The state set up a helpline specifically for this issue. So that number is right there on your screen, 303-692-2437. Now, I got to warn you, it is not staffed by a live operator. It is just a voicemail box. In fact, we left a message this afternoon and have not heard back. And that money certainly would be life-changing for just about anyone, but especially for all the Coloradans who are still struggling to find the right job. Colorado's unemployment rate is at 6.4% right now. That is down from April 2020's high of 12%, and it's double April 2019's rate of 3%. Maria Elena Rivera is one of the state's many career counselors. She feels optimistic, even though some of her callers don't.
I do see more and more businesses opening up. I do see more and more of our jobs that are being posted, like the lists are getting longer. So that's awesome. And it's more of a variety, at all skill set.
And there are resources through the state's database for job seekers called Connecting Colorado. In fact, as of today, the site shows there are more than 100,000 jobs available. Now, the rain didn't keep people from traveling to our state for Memorial Day weekend. TSA projected it would screen 300,000 passengers for the long weekend. That is the highest we have seen over a 3-day stretch since last March. Businesses and hotels in downtown Denver saw the same surging crowds for the holiday weekend. Perhaps the best example of the busy holiday weekend was the Sheraton Denver downtown. Its general manager says it's a 92% occupancy rate this weekend. Compare that to 10% last Memorial Day weekend. Of course, the journey back to normal is not over yet. The hotel needs at least 250 employees this season, and the general manager says it has been difficult getting people back to work. A disabled veteran in Denver needs your help. His business is in limbo after thousands of dollars of tools were stolen out of his truck. Denver7's Gary Brode spoke to the man who is just devastated.
They got everything, man. It was soul crushing.
After spending 6 years in the Army, Brian Nicola has been working to grow his handyman business.
Every dime that I had that didn't go toward food or rent went toward tools and building my business.
Last week, the business he worked so hard to build was hit with a major blow.
It really hurts to come out and just see everything that you work so hard for this long just gone.
Nicola says in the dead of night, outside of his apartment at the Hudson at Highline, his van was broken into.
They actually bent the metal in to try and reach down to get to this door right here, but they couldn't. So when they did that, I think they just came around to the back and smashed the door.
The thieves got away with tools and appliances.
Apartment-sized washing machine right here that they took as well.
Nicola estimates his losses are in the thousands.
I would say anywhere in the range of $6,000 to $8,000 with the tools.
Nicola tells us his business insurance won't cover what was taken because it didn't happen on a job. And even though it happened outside of his apartment, renter's insurance won't cover it because the company considers the stolen items business property.
And where's that leaving you right now?
Broke. We can't even do the jobs to get the money to get the tools back.
To make matters worse, the thieves also stole the van's catalytic converter.
I mean, when I start this thing, it sounds like a race car.
But that is getting taken care of thanks to the generosity of a local dealership.
General manager of Group 4 did come. He messaged me on Facebook because I put this out, across the groups and stuff like that, as many as I could find, about our situation. He got in contact with me and let me know that he's going to come pick up the van tomorrow with their tow truck, and they're going to replace the windows and the catalytic converter for us for free.
Nicola doesn't expect to get his property back. Denver Police Department says no arrests have been made. In Denver, Gary Brode.
It hurts. Definitely hurts.
Denver7.
You know it. And Brian has started a GoFundMe to get his truck fixed and hopefully raise money to buy back tools. We do have a link to that on this story up on thedenverchannel.com.
Chilly afternoon highs for days now across the Front Range and all of Colorado, but we are going to warm things up here in the next few afternoons. I'll let you know how hot it's going to get.
That warm weather will have you wanting to get outside in Colorado, but the state says it's overwhelmed.
All our public lands in Colorado have seen huge increases in visitations.
But now there's a new proposal to raise money for parks by attaching it to car registration fees.
We get more people participating, which means that we're able to bring the cost down.
And coming up later, a family looking to fix a recalled vehicle says parts delays are preventing it from happening.
I don't want my son in that car, and I don't feel safe.
What you can do if you find yourself in the same position.